heart of Milton Keynes, where grid roads meet open skies, stands a building that once defined the city's cultural identity. This is the Point. The Point opened in 1985. The Point wasn't just another cinema, it was a bold statement. With its striking mirrored pyramid and futuristic design, it became the very first multiplex cinema in the United Kingdom. At a time when most cinemas had a single screen, the Point introduced something entirely new. Multiple films, multiple screens, all under one roof. It changed the way people experienced movies forever. For years, it was more than just a place to watch films. It was a social hub, a meeting point, a landmark that could be seen from afar, reflecting the sky and the changing seasons. Generations came here for first dates, family outings, late night screenings, and unforgettable premieres. But as Milton Keynes grew, so did its entertainment. New developments emerged, and slowly the Point began to fade from its spotlight. Its screens went dark, and the building that once buzzed with life stood quiet. Yet even in silence, the Point remains iconic. A symbol of innovation, a reminder of a time when this city dared to do something different. Today, it stands not just as a structure, but as a piece of British cinema history. And for those who remember it, it will always be more than just a building. It will always be the Point.
Look at the state of that, wow. Right, I'm just going to pan in a bit for you guys.
After leaving the Point, I made my way through the boulevards and came across the abandoned 500 building.
Right, we'll take a walk round this perimeter side anyway. Soon back out again. There we go. This was in the centre of Milton Keynes. It looks as if we're sort of in a third world country. Absolutely crazy. But I'll take you round either way. We'll go around either way. There's plenty of access ins in broken windows, but the trouble is it's getting over into the perimeter because they have actually cottoned on to a lot of people being able to climb on top of the walls and get up, and yeah, unfortunately they've stopped that now. But look at the state of the play. This has been closed for a number of years. So it's been closed down roughly during COVID, but well, I'm just going to pan in a bit more just so you can see. Look at that, it's crazy. Let's zoom out again. Right, okay, let's walk round this way. There you go. Quite a nice site many years ago. The garden's well kept. now. It feels like we're in a war-torn country, you know. It feels as if I might be in flipping Beirut or something. It's pretty mental. So these would have been the doors. Access points a bit more. There's no chance of getting that bit. We'll take a walk round anyway. It's just nice to be able to do a different video for you guys, and nice, as I say, to document it really. You can see all the glass that's actually come off this building is here, because it's the brown sort of, I don't know, anti-glare glass, whatever you call it. Look, you can see it all there, look. That specialist glass, that's all come from this building, the building 500. No chance. I mean, obviously cameras and rules. Yeah, we'll continue anyway and go up the stairs. I mean, I'd imagine before you could have shimmied up here. Which, to be fair, you probably still could, but you're not going to get far unless you're Spider-Man. But as I say, I'm not really that athletic, and I know my limits. Let's say. You know, I'm a father, so I've got to keep it safe. But it's nevertheless, this is really interesting to, you know, have this in such a nice area. It's quite nice to document it. This would have been a staff way in there, look.
Next, I'm en route to Wolverton, a town that has stamped its time in history, long before Milton Keynes had arrived. Wolverton is famous for being the first railway town in the world. I didn't have to walk too far to find an old abandoned church. Sadly, there was no way in to explore it. Wolverton, located just to the north of Milton Keynes, holds a unique place in British industrial history. Its story begins in the early 19th century, during the rapid expansion of the London and Birmingham Railway. In the 1830s, Wolverton was chosen as a site for railway works and maintenance facilities, a decision that would transform the area forever. Before this, Wolverton was little more than a small rural settlement, but with the arrival of the railway, it quickly evolved into what is widely regarded as the world's first purpose-built railway town. The Wolverton Works became the heart of the community, employing thousands of workers who built, repaired and maintained carriages for the expanding railway network. In the heart of Wolverton stands a building that tells a quieter but equally important story. The old bathhouse. Built in the 19th century alongside the railway works, it was created for the workers of the town at a time when most homes had no running water or proper washing facilities. For many, this was more than just a place to get clean. It was an essential part of daily life. Workers would come here after long shifts at works, using the baths to wash away the grime of the industry. It reflects a time when Wolverton wasn't just built around the railway, but carefully designed to support the people who kept it running. As living conditions improved and homes gained modern amenities, places like the bathhouse became less necessary, and many were eventually closed. Today, the old bathhouse stands as a reminder of that earlier era of hard work, community, and realities of life in one of Britain's first railway towns. Though its purpose has changed, its story remains woven into the history of Wolverton itself. Around, the works, housing, schools and services were carefully planned and constructed, creating a self-contained town designed specifically for railway workers and their families. This model of industrial planning was groundbreaking at the time and influenced the development of future railway towns across Britain. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, Wolverton thrived as a centre of engineering excellence, with a workforce known for skill and innovation. Although the scale of railway work has declined over time, Wolverton's identity remains deeply tied to its industrial roots. Today, traces of that heritage can still be seen in its layout, its architecture, and the strong sense of community that continues to define the town. Wolverton isn't just a place on the map, it's a cornerstone of railway history and a reminder of how the railways helped shape modern Britain. There's more to Wolverton than just its beginnings. As the railway expanded, the town became closely tied to the London and North Western Railway, which took over the original line. Wolverton Works grew into one of the most important carriage building and maintenance sites in the country, employing thousands of workers at its peak. Life here revolved around the railway. The sound of the whistles, the rhythm of shifts, and the constant movement of trains shaped everyday life in the town. Wolverton was also one of the earliest examples of a planned railway town. Streets, housing, and facilities were carefully designed for workers and their families. This included places like schools, reading rooms, medical services, and the bathhouse, all built to support daily life. The town even played a role in royal history, with special railway carriages for the monarchy being built and maintained here, adding a sense of prestige to its industrial roots. Over time, the railway industry began to decline, and the scale of work at Wolverton reduced. In the 1960s, the development of Milton Keynes saw Wolverton become part of a much larger new town. But despite these changes, Wolverton has held on to its identity, with its historic layout, strong community, and deep connection to Britain's railway past. Wolverton may be part of a modern city today, but its roots run deep in the age of steam, steel, and the birth of the railway. Milton Keynes and Wolverton are closely connected, but they come from very different eras. Wolverton came first. By the 1830s, it was already a thriving railway town, built around the works of the London and Birmingham Railway, with industry, housing, and a strong community long before Milton Keynes even existed. Milton Keynes is much newer. It was officially designated in 1967 as one of Britain's new towns, designed to ease overcrowding and create a modern planned city. Rather than starting completely from scratch, planners incorporated existing towns, and Wolverton was one of them. So, instead of creating Wolverton, Milton Keynes absorbed it into a much larger vision. Today, Wolverton sits within Milton Keynes as one of its historic districts. You can still see the contrast: Wolverton within its Victorian streets and railway heritage, and Milton Keynes with its grid roads and modern design. Wolverton laid the foundations long before Milton Keynes existed, and today the old railway town lives on at the heart of a modern city. As Wolverton grew alongside the railway works, the town itself reflected the structure of the workforce. Rows of smaller terrace houses were built for the majority of workers. Practical, uniform, and close to the works, these homes were designed for efficiency, giving working families a place to live within walking distance of their jobs. But as you move through the town, the houses begin to change. The terraces become larger, more detailed, and more spacious, built for supervisors, engineers, and those in higher positions. The further up the hierarchy, the bigger and more refined the homes became. In this way, Wolverton's streets tell a story of status and structure, where your place in the railway was reflected in where and how you lived. There was once an even grander residence, the manor house, which stood as a symbol of the highest level of authority in the area. However, this building no longer exists. It was eventually demolished to make way for more modern amenities, marking a shift from Wolverton's industrial past to its evolving present. Today, while the manor house is gone, the layout of the town still reveals its history. A place where work, status, and community were built side by side.